गीतां भगवतां नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन कृतिता पुराणं विना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणी भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनी अम्ब त्वामनुसन्ततामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी.
Well, the Jnani is free from exaltation.
Video is frozen.
Frozen. Our video is frozen. Is
Really?
not for
You are not able to see?
It's frozen.
I cannot see. Now it's okay. Yeah. Yeah, we can start.
The Jnani is free from exaltation.
Yeah, that is right.
Exaltation, intolerance. Actually, Swamiji, the idea is, or the target is, we should get into this kind of level. Right. Very free from exaltation, intolerance, fear and pain.
And yes, Swamiji.
Yeah, that's good. That is what he says, that once a person has this understanding of life, it goes into his psyche so much that for him it is spontaneous. For him it is spontaneous, irrespective of it. So, for others it is a sadhana. Sadhana meaning, you in the sense, you aim at that. Aim at that by in small and big ways. Little, in the sense, we don't have to, you take one thing at a time and work at it. And what he says is like noodles. Once you are able to target one value and you are able to progress in that, automatically you will progress in other areas also. But it should be consistent. It should be consistent because you have got this is something about life. It is not this activity or that activity. Something about life. In life you want to have a certain balance in your antakarana wherein you will be able to own up this samatvam as your reality, like irrespective of whatever is happening, phenomenal things happen in the phenomenon by the niyati of the Ishvara. So my own role is only move to that extent. I know, as I understand now what is appropriate to the given situation, do my bit, and rest leave it to Ishvara. So that the cognition should be there, and that should drive you in any moment, whether it is something nice happening also, you should, that free from exaltation. Something intolerable happens also, you should not be having that, they must be able to accommodate, Shama, because everything is in the, there is only one canvas called life, in which everything is happening, like even a movie, like even in a dream. So we don't have to think that, no, I am getting affected, other fellows are, no. It's all happening, it's all mutual, like if you are affected today, tomorrow you will be affected. Everything is, that Shraddha should be there in that should drive you not to get exalted, not to get down on any situation. And then you must be able to sort of, it is not, fear is something to be avoided, fear is to be embraced. Yeah, okay, I am afraid of this, now what I should do. In the sense, that sort of a thing. And pain, okay, I am pained. Immediately, I am in pain, no. There is a pain here, I have to do what is appropriate, whatever bombing, whatever medicine I have to take, wait for some time, whether I can live with it for some time. No, still it is not going, then you consult a doctor. All those things, very alert living. Because you, at the back of this all, you must be very, in the sense, the clarity should be there, in close, growing clarity should be there, that understanding of life is, the truth is only one awareness being. It is not bound by time or space, it is not even an object, it is just the being. And that is my reality. That reality understanding is not, it is something, that is precious and not available for any other jantu. That's a fact of life, that we must be able to see from the whole, all what you have done all along these 12 chapters. We have to get that very much in our psyche, saying that this is the truth of life, this is what I want to claim as my truth. But okay, because of my whatever way I have been living all along, I had my interest in XYZ. and I got hurt because of this, felt guilty because of all these things. Everything is now, I resolve it unto Ishvara. Everything is there happening in one whole being called Ishvara. That is why that Ishvara, Arpana Buddhi, Prasada Buddhi, it is just, Ishvara is a all-encompassing. The name itself is Shupalane, Aishvarach Pratyaya, meaning Lord of everything. All glory belongs to you, all any Viryam belongs to you, any Lakshmi belongs to you, any Meda belongs to you, everything. In the whole tapestry of one whole being, all these things are happening. The individuals are living, the animals are living, plants are living, the whole thing is continuously moving. In that I am also, as a body, mind, sense complex, I am also moving. And so in that niyati everything is happening. So because of this being the wholesome truth, in terms of movement also, it is all happening in one tapestry called life. Individual, and as it is also the reality of this whole tapestry is the awareness being, Satyam, which is changeless, which is not bound by time, space, as it's not even object. Thus being only, the whole names and forms and changes happen. That also it is it is reinforced by my logical understanding of all these teachings. That I am very at the back of my mind, I must be able to claim it. And then in the background of that, I am looking at all these qualities so that I am able to claim that, own that understanding at all times, irrespective of whatever is happening in my life. So that is why I am looking at these values. I am interested in these values not for value's sake. It is not I want somebody to tell me how great he is fearless. No, I am not doing it for others. I am doing it for my own mental structure wherein I am able to own up this understanding. Because that is very metaphysical, that is a bit of an abstraction, and it is something so very illuminating, you cannot put a finger on it. You can only own it, only you can own it. Because that is your reality. You can't show it to others. And every one of us have to do it ourselves. That is the background with which all this is being talked about. It is a sadhana to get a ready state of mind wherein I can appreciate the reality. That is how it is. Yoga, ekagrata and chitta naischalyam, and in that chitta naischalyam and in that ekagrata mind, I keep bringing back and forth the understanding of what I am getting through all these texts of Vedanta and teachings, and I own up. So all these have to simultaneously happen. It doesn't, you can't say, no, first I will get into one of these qualities one by one, later I will study. No. Actually, you won't have any value for all these things. That values are already there. In the sense, the matrix of life, dharma is already there. Do unto others as you would like others to do unto you. But why we are not able to? Because we have not assimilated the value for it. Why we have not assimilated the value for it? We think we have some overriding value. Okay, if I tell a lie and I get a million is more worth than telling a lie. So, because overriding values. Whereas once you know the overriding value will take you away from your reality of the being, then you will not bother about that 1 million. The being, I have to sleep. Like even I sleep well today, I have to sleep well every day, and every moment of my life I must be able to be that Ananda Swarupam which I am in my sleep. Every moment of my waking moment also, I want to be. I don't want to be anything less. No, it doesn't matter if I have 1 million, little bit less of happiness, okay. You may say today because you want that 1 million, but after that 1 million also you will be still unhappy. Maybe more unhappy than what you were before. So at that time you will say, no, this has not worked for me. I want something else. It goes on. That is how we have been. Basically, it's all our pravrittis have been like that only, one after the other. இது வந்ததுன்னா அது வந்து கத்தி வந்தது வால் போச்சு வால் சின்ன வயசுல பாட்டு ஒண்ணு உண்டு கத்தி வந்தது வால் போச்சு வால் வந்தது கத்தி போச்சு. There is a meaning in that actually, because every loss involves a gain, every gain involves a loss. These are all dictums. But the thing is that we don't assimilate, we just parrot it. That's all. What is told in the book, we keep on parroting it. or put it in the notice board, put it on the table. Whereas it has to internalize. All these values are valuable because they are valuable to me. Why they are valuable to me? It gives me that composure. Why I want that composure? I want to own up this reality. Relative tranquility I want because absolute tranquility is my nature. I want to get there, and this I don't want to postpone it even by a day because human being alone can get it, and that is the ultimate evolution. All this have to be, the big picture has to be there all the time. Then only the small picture will fall in place. Yeah.
I mean, I have a question. We have to, all this will happen by itself, or we have got to practice, or consciously we have to do it?
That's what he said.
Whenever there is an occasion, suppose when you get an occasion like a good thing, something very good happens. So immediately very nice. Then okay, it's nice, fine, come on. Let us do what you have to do with it. Something is a blessing, first thing you tell the prayer to Bhagavan. Thank God you have given me this. Let me use this properly. So bring down your level of exaltation to the reality. So like that, bit by bit, piece by piece, you have to do, and every day alert living. It has to be done consistently, constantly, throughout your life. It is not one day affair or something. It is once you get into it, that is lifelong. No going back.
It is not a quality built into us from day one.
Yeah. Listen, you have to, because there is all, listen, the most important part of it is, what are you looking for in life? The clarity should be there. The clarity will come. More and more you see the value of it once you sort of put into place these things, over a period of time you will feel that you are reaching that understanding, that level of understanding wherein I am able to retain my composure irrespective of whatever happens. I am able to be a predictable person, and I am also of value to people around me. All these things you will see. Definitely. That is how I honestly.
This is sadhana. It's only a sadhana for us.
Sadhana. This is sadhana. It has to be, like in the sense, sadhana in the sense is not rocket science. Like we have to have a certain value for it and keep pushing for it. We know all these things. It's all about natural. That is why all these values, even in Shastra, it will come in the next chapter, amanitvam, avadambitvam and all that. Tvam means what? Tvam means you. Amanitvam is your nature. Whereas you became a mani, you started expecting respect from others. Because you already concluded I am useless. In my heart of heart. So I always look for others' approval. So that is how, the problem is our own conclusions. And it happens. But till the time 15, 20, 30, we don't know where we are going. Only when you open up your eyes, you know, come on, why I feel useless like this? Once you start asking this question only, then you will see, I am always looking at myself from the prism of others. Whereas I really don't know what is going on in his mind. Nobody, they don't think that you are useless. You think that they think that you are useless. Swamiji, that's why he mentioned, you are worried about what you think about what they think about you. It's too much of projection. It doesn't really help. Come on, let us know our worth and keep moving. And so, amanitvam, that becomes your reality. Because that is how you are born. As a child, you are a amanitvam. You never expected any appreciation from any, you are just playful. Very, very nice. That you are made into a person who expects respect from others by the society or whatever the reasons. All these are built up on us. And we have also not paid attention to it. We just accepted whatever that came. Problem is we don't introspect. We have been Bakir all the time outside, looking outside. Instead of looking what is my reality. So now that we have started looking at it, we can develop These are all reality. It's not once you start doing this, it will naturally, because this is your reality. So it is only logical that you will touch base more easily than keeping projecting all the time outside. Projecting means you are excited. In the sense, even in science, the electron is always excited. It wants to come back to its base. So like us, we are also like that. We want to be a Mani. We want to be a Himsa person. Himsa is very natural to us. For Himsa only you have to make an effort. And once we start making an effort and you think that something it is paying, because of my getting angry, because of my throwing tantrums, I am able to get things done at home. Then you start throwing tantrums and for anything and everything. A pampered child syndrome. So all these things are projected. Then once he goes out, he is no more pampered, then he feels let down. So why get into that? So let us introspect, leave it. And once we do that, we can also develop the same values to our own children. Maybe earlier than what we picked up. So all this, so it's really very enhancing, like life enhancing, even as a value. But it also builds your infrastructure, wherein you are able to appreciate the truth and stay with it. So I don't think we should not be concerned whether each of these values I have to practice or something. No, it will grow on you once you start paying attention. Yeah.
Further, he says, Harsha, Amarsha, Bhaya, Udvegaihi, Muktaha, Yaha. The one who is free from elation, intolerance, fear and anxiety. Sa, Cha, Me, Priyaha. He is beloved to me.
Shall I read, Appa? Shall I read? I think yesterday both of you read. Shall I read?
Read.
Harsha is the state of mind that ensues when you achieve something you had wanted very much. There is an exultation which Shankara says is indicated by horripilation and shedding tears. When you reach
so much, you should get so exalted. He is exaggerating perhaps, but sometimes you feel that way. Oh great, what you call eureka moment in life. Once you get that, you feel so exalted. But he says even then you have to come down to earth. You should not get so carried away. Yeah.
When you reach such an extreme of joyous emotion, its opposite is not going to be far away. Amarsha is an intolerance that is often rooted in jealousy. If someone is able to do something well or is happy and your appreciation of that invokes pain in you, you are suffering from jealous matsarya. Matsarya.
Jealousy is the noun, yeah.
From jealousy, matsarya. Amarsa can also be expressed as
Yes, has to be harsh.
Amarsa can also express as asuya, overlooking a person's virtues and finding fault.
Yeah, beautiful. In Asuya, Shastra itself tells Guneshu Dosha Darshanam. Meaning, if a fellow is virtuous, you will find fault with him. Where exactly you can find fault with him, you will find. Generally, he may be a very nice person, but you will find, no, this fellow cannot be so nice. There should be something wrong with him. That is called Asuya.
When someone has a good quality, why not enjoy it? Someone who has asuya will disregard the virtues and try to discover the person's faults.
Because Swamiji used to say proofreading mentality.
Sorry?
Proofreading mentality. If you take a book, the content may be good, but you will say the I's are not dotted, T's are not lined, small things you will keep pointing fingers. That's called proofreading mentality. So Swamiji will say, if you have an asuya, you will be born as a proofreader next to the Janma. Yeah.
And everyone has faults. Matsarya and asuya are together called amarsa. Amarsa.
Yeah.
When things do not go as you would like them to, and you find you cannot tolerate yourself or the world that you feel has deceived you, that is amarsha. The jnani, however, recognizes any accomplishment as his own glory. With this knowledge, he can say along with Krishna, I was Manu, I was Indra, There is nothing separate from me, and therefore anyone's glory is my own glory. Ishvara, to whom all glories belong, is non-separate from Brahman, which is non-separate from Atma. Therefore any vibhuti anywhere is your own. Since Ishvara's glory is infinite, with this knowledge, you can keep on discovering his glories which are non-separate from yourself. And this is why there is no amarsha, jealousy or intolerance. He is also free from fear, bhaya. At the level of the jiva, who is a karma yogi, he trusts in the order which is Ishvara, and therefore conducts his life free from fear. The more you are aware of Ishvara's role in your life, the more you find you are able to relax. You can let go of all that happened in the past and of what may happen in the future, and just do what is to be done without concern for what others think. This is a unique attitude that comes of prayer. The more you recognize Ishvara, the less fear you have relatively. Absolute freedom from fear is only possible with the knowledge that there is no second thing, because fear is only generated by a second reality equivalent to you. Even if you are Param Brahma, even if there is another Param Brahma, there will be fear, because then there is the possibility of isolation, division and separation. Fear of being overpowered, cheated and so on exists only when there is a second thing. Even God becomes a source of fear as a punisher. The very one who is a source of fearlessness, Abhaya, becomes the cause for fear if you see him as a second thing. If you see him as yourself, there is no source of fear because there is no other source. In the Taittiriya Upanishad, it is said that the wind blows, sun rises, Agni and Indra and even Lord Death do their jobs because of fear. Bisha Asmat Vata
Vata Pavate Bisha Uti Suryaha Bisha Asmatcha Indrascha Mrityuhudavati Panchama iti. That is how it comes in Taittiriya Upanishad. Beautiful sloka. So all of them are out of fear of God, they are all doing their own job properly. Why you, son, everyone? The idea is, if they think that Ishvara is separate from them, they will also have to have fear, even though they may be high and mighty. But they all know, being Devatas, they all know. They are only doing Nikta aware, whereas they are all one with Ishvara. Since they know, they don't feel burdened by their job. 24 by 365 they are doing. Because it's all Niyati, Ishvara. Ishvara's one aspect is sun, one aspect is Vayu, like that. They are very clear, but they don't not clear. They look at themselves as separate, even they have to have fear. Forget you and me. That is how he says, yeah.
Bisha Asmat Vata Pavate Bisha Udeti Suryaha Bisha Asmat Cha Indraha Samrityurdhavati Panchamayiti
Bisha Asmat Cha Indrascha Mrityurdhavati Panchamayiti.
Mrityurdhavati Panchamayiti. All the phenomenal forces behave as they do because of some mandate. The idea is individuals do things out of fear, fear of being punished, fear of being ridiculed or rejected, fear of losing, and finally fear of other. Elsewhere it is said, the one who sees a seeming multiplicity goes from death to death. Mrityo mrityum apnotiya ihanana iva pashyati.
Iha nana iva pashyati, a person who thinks multiplicity, in the sense world is full of multiples. If he thinks that way, then he will be going from birth to birth is putting it positively, going from death to death is putting negatively, but both mean the same. That's what it is. So he says, Mrityu. So in order to create disenchantment with this nana iva pashyati, world, looking at the world as different, in order to create disenchantment with that nanatvam, he says negatively, Mrityoho mrityum apnoti. He will go from death to death. Then the punarjanma, you will be in the samsara chakra, you will never come out of it. You keep on looking at the world as something different from you. That's what it is.
But for the one who sees the truth, anyway he looks at it, there is only one thing. From the standpoint of the self, there is no second thing, because everything has its help, everything has its being in the self. And if he looks at it as a whole, the whole cannot be many, because infinity can have no parts. Thus, fear does not exist for the one who has this non-dual vision. Pain, udvega, of course, is not possible because Atma is Asanga, and further, being Ananda, pain is not possible. The one who is free from all these, Harsha, Amarsha, Bhaya, Udvega, Udvegaihi, Muktaha is Priyaha, beloved to me, meaning identical with me. Verse 16, Anapeksha Daksha Udasino Gatavyataha Sarvaramba Parityagi Yo Mat Bhakta Same Priyaha. Anapekshaha, the one who has no dependence. Shuchihi, the one who is clean. Dakshaha, the one who is able.
Yeah,
Udasinaha.
that is why one meaning of Dakshinamurti is this, Dakshaha. Dakshaha Amurti. A formless and very capable in the sense everything is one. So naturally he has to be capable. So one who is able. Yeah.
Udasinaha, the one who is neutral. Gatavyataha, the one from whom fear is gone. Sarvaramba Parityagi, the one who has completely given up all initiation of actions. Yaha Mad Bhaktaha, the one who is my devotee. Sahame Priyaha, he is beloved to me. The one who has no dependence is clean, able, and neutral, from whom fear has gone, who has completely given up all initiation of actions, and who is my devotee is beloved to me. The jnani is not dependent on anything. Anapekshaha, Shankara says, is someone who does not depend upon the relationship between the physical body, sense organs, and sense objects for his sense of well-being. He knows he is self-existent, not dependent upon any other factor, and does not suffer from the delusion that he is only alive if the body is alive. The prana that keeps the body alive is dependent upon him, and moreover, Atma does not breathe. Since only something that breathes will die, he is always alive. Atma is pure existence, Satyavastu, and therefore does not depend upon prana, manas, buddhi, or anything else for his existence. Further, all things depend upon Atma for their coming to light, but Atma is self-evident, not depending upon anything for the establishment of its existence. In order to be full and free from any sense of imperfection, Atma depends upon nothing because it is the content of any experienced happiness. Therefore, one knows this is Anapeksha, free from dependence in every way. Concerns about externals such as where will I live do not exist for the one who knows himself, because he knows that everything is located in Atma, which is the Adhisthana, the basis of that entire Jagat. This is not merely verbal. He sees that it happens to be the nature of Atma and thus has no dependence at all upon situations. He is a Shuchi. Shuchihi, the one who is endowed with Shaucha, cleanliness, both outer and inner. Outer cleanliness, Bhaya Shaucha.
Bhakya Saucha.
Bhaya Shaucha
External, yeah.
begins with your physical body and extends to your clothes, the place where you live and the environment in general. Inner cleanliness, Antara Shaucha. Is it Antara Shaucha?
Antara Saucha, yeah.
Antara Shaucha.
Is Antara Saucha, yeah.
Antara Shaucha is accomplished by various means. One of them is Pratipaksha, Bhavana, deliberately bringing in a disposition that is the opposite of a negative one. By deliberately cultivating a positive disposition towards a given person, your hatred, anger, jealousy, and so on are neutralized. These do not exist in the natural expression of a wise man who is absolutely harmless. Anybody wants to continue? Appa.
He is a Daksha. Daksha here means one who is capable of understanding things as they are. Relatively, he can quickly assess a situation and do what is to be done. The action called for in a given situation depends entirely upon your estimation of it, which, if it is to be objective, cannot be prejudiced by your anxieties and fears. A wise man is a Daksha because he can give a dispassionate consideration to any situation. He is also Daksha in the absolute sense because he knows the cause as cause and all the effects as mere name and form, Namarupa, which are Mithya. For him, they have only an empirical existence which has no impact on him because it does not challenge him as another reality. He knows that all of them are himself, that nothing at all is separate from him because the seeming difference of subject-object is entirely sublated, bhadita. Even though the inquiry begins with subject-object, later we negate the reality of this division. The difference is only an apparent one, since there is no reality in the situation except I. So, Daksha can also be one who is identical with Ishvara in that he understands the essential identity between himself and the Lord. One of the names for the Lord is Daksha, the one who is capable of creation, sustenance and withdrawal, Srishti Samhara Samartha, or Daksha is the one who has expertise in Vedic knowledge, the Puranas, the Itihasas, Shrutismriti, Purana, Itihasadishu, Dakshaha. A number of meanings are given for Dakshaha, a very beautiful word. He does not take sides. Udasinaha is one who does not take sides with a friend, Mitra, or an enemy, Shatru. Any issue is relative whether it is with reference to an economic system, a political system, a lifestyle, or any discipline. All of them have their advantages and disadvantages depending upon how you look at them. Therefore, it is not wise to take a stand on relative issues, and a wise person, though he can give cogent arguments for either side, is neither on one side or the other. He is Udasinaha. As a sadhana for Vedanta, this is very important because Vedanta can only be understood by a mind that does not move in extremes. We are interested in realities, and for that, the mind must be very dispassionate. If you take a side on an issue, the other side is obscured from your view, and if you are in between, you can see both. Therefore, only a person who is dispassionate enjoys objectivity, a very important factor in understanding reality. There is always an element of truth in any position. One who is Udasina sees this and is therefore highly dispassionate on relative issues.
Swamiji, this Udasinaha, Tamil Udasinam
indifferent. That is what it is. That is actually not the correct meaning. It is not indifferent. You are dispassionate. Dispassionate is a positive value. Indifferent is a lazy value.
Actually, Udasina Padititana, he insulted me in
ignored. That's a problem. Something like Pramadam. Pramadam is a totally negative meaning. Pramada means laziness. Whereas Pramadamna is something appreciating in Tamil. In the sense that over a period of time, it has been, even the meaning has got distorted. That's the problem. Udasina is not that. Udasina means this. Dispassion.
He has no afflictions. Gatavyataha is the one for whom fear or affliction of any sort is gone. Using the word gata, gone, indicates that fear was once there. In the wake of knowledge, it is gone. Fear, as we saw, comes from separateness. So the Karma Yogi cannot be called a Gatavyata. He can be only relatively free from fear, whereas a Gatavyata is free from any type of fear, including the fear of death, which is possible only in the wake of knowledge. He has no need to begin any activity. Sarvarambha Parityagi is another important word.
Very important word. People think that Sarvarambha Parityagi means you don't have to do anything, sit tight. No, it's not that. If you really understand the implication of it, you will get it beautifully. Yeah.
Arambha here is what is planned and initiated. All karmas are arambhas in that they begin because of a sankalpa. Shankara, writing the Bhashya, began at some point, and even Krishna began teaching Arjuna. No one is without arambha, the cause for which is kama, desire. Various karmas, whether Vaidika, Smartha or Laukika, are done to produce results here and in the hereafter. A karma yogi also performs these karmas, and though he does them for the sake of moksha, he is still not sarvarambha palatyagi, but a sarva karma palatyagi who performs actions dedicating them to Ishvara. One can only be a sarvarambha parityagi by giving up kartritva which is possible only in the wake of jnana. However hard one may try, there is no method by which one can give up kartritva because the karta is required to employ that method. Who is the Sarvarambha Parityagi?
So there we have to remember that particular verse. Karmani akarmaya paschet akarmani cha karmayaha sa buddhiman manushyesu sa yuktaha sa krishna karma krita. Krishna karma krita means fellow who does everything well done. Krishna karma krita well done. Person who is able to see no action in action and in action actionlessness. Means what? He understands the reality, his reality as the being. So irrespective of whatever is being done, whatever is to be done is being done. That's all. Nimitta matram bhava. He will not arrogate upon himself that I am the doer, I am doing this. So that is the karma pala, the karmarambha, sarvarambha parityagi. So you must get with the proper understanding. Whatever things happen will happen, will keep happening. But you will not associate yourself with that I am the karta, I am doing, I have to get the param and all that. That space inside, the freedom we have, that is what is called sarvarambha parityagi. That is what is being talked about. With yoga you start, finally with understanding that becomes so enshrined in your personality, that becomes very natural to you. For a jnani, it becomes very natural. For a person, karma yogi, he has to deliberately keep doing that. Every karma is Ishvara Arpanam, every pala that comes, you are ready to receive it as prasad. Keep doing it. Over a period of time, you will be able to get to a situation where at any point in time, you will do whatever is to be done without having the sense of doership. That is where we are moving into. That is what is called Sarvarambha Parityagi. Yeah.
Swamiji, then Karma Yogi also is supposed to take as Ishwar Prasadam and Ishwar Arpanam.
Yeah, that is, but why he is able to take it as a Prasadam and Arpanam? Because he still thinks that he is a doer. I am doing this, Ishwara Arpanam. Okay. I am doing this, I am receiving this palam. So that I separate from the whatever you call it, osmos, larger reality, whatever it is, there is a separation. But over a period of time, once you do this consistently, along with this knowledge, once your mind is ready and you are able to see the reality, it will slowly, you will transform into, it becomes very natural to you. You become a karma parityagi by natural. You don't have to make a deliberate effort, Ishvara, Pranam, Prasad, not. Whatever happens, you will take it. In the sense, that sort of a deliberate attempt that I am doing this, I am doing this for Ishvara Arpanam, I take the prasada. No, that I taking the prasada and all will vanish. It will all become very natural to you. That is what, the transition becomes so natural. That's what he says. So slight difference between the karma yogi and at its extreme and jnani. That is why Bhagavad Gita says karma yogi, that sarva karma sannyasa is possible for karma yogi also, for a sannyasi also, because that at the extreme level both are one. Like the jnani tu atmaiva mematam, when he says jignasu and jnani, not much of a difference. In the sense, we don't know exactly when we transition it. So we don't have to worry about whether we have become a jnani or not, not necessary. Just keep doing, but keep building up these values and keep studying about this oneness, then automatically it will fall in place. That's how it is. Yeah.
Sa Madbhaktaha, he is my devotee, Lord Krishna says, and he is my Priyaha, my beloved, because he is myself, Mama Atma, the most beloved. If we take this relatively, the seeker who is not yet a jnani becomes the recipient of Ishvara grace, which will pave the way for his gaining knowledge.
This answers your question. This sentence. Yeah.
All these qualities which are so natural for a jnani are sadhanas for the seeker. Further he says, verse 17, Yo na krishyati na dveshti, na sochati na kankshati, shubha shubha parityagi, bhaktiman yassa me priyaha. Yaha.
Mr. Kumar, we are in chapter 12, verse 17.
Yaha He who na krishyati does not get elated, na dveshti is not hostile, na sochati does not grieve, na kankshati does not desire, yes subha ashubha parityagi. The one who has completely given up good and bad karma, bhaktiman, the one who has devotion, same priyaha, he is beloved to me. The one who does not get elated, is not hostile, does not grieve, does not desire, who has completely given up good and bad karma, who has devotion, is beloved to me. He is not elated or hostile. Yaha na krishyati, the one who does not get elated when his desires are fulfilled. A jnani has only prarabdha karma because his free will is consumed in the wake of knowledge. Prarabdha is threefold. Karma which unfolds in the form of desire in the mind of the person who initiates it is icha prarabdha. If an action is prompted by desire that arises not in his own mind but in someone else's, that is paricha prarabdha.
Parecha prarabdha.
Parecha
prarabdha.
Parecha prarabdha. Teaching and writing, for example, are often done only upon request. The results of such actions are sought not by the person who does them, but by the person who wants them done. The third type of prarabdha is desired neither by the person who experiences it nor by anyone else. It can be, but rarely is it an ishta, desirable or pleasant. More often it is not very pleasant, it is anishta like disease. No one wishes it, but it happens anyway. When the jnani gains the desirable, he is not elated, na krishyati, and when something undesirable happens, he is not hostile, na dveshti. He does not suffer over or regret anything that happens. Swamiji, the two other icha prarabdha, it is because
what is others icha? That is samashti, like the samashti prayer, like for example, Krishna Avatara itself, because the yata hidharma, what you call glanir bhavati bharata, like that. Because of so many people's prayers that dharma was deteriorating, in order to re-establish dharma, he was born. So it is not his own icha, is para icha. So because of others, icha that is para icha prarabdha. Okay, and certain other para icha prarabdha can be disease. And then nobody asks for it. It comes. That's a prarabdha. Again you have to bear with it. So that is again para icha prarabdha. So it can happen for the question may be, a jnani has only prarabdha karma. How can he have prarabdha karma? Because he is not a karta. How he can have prarabdha? No, he can have prarabdha karma. Like simple desires can be there. Okay, he may like coffee, he may not like tea. And second thing is, there can be other people asking for some help. So if he is in a position to do, he will do it. That is again para icha prarabdha. The third thing is disease. So all these are possible. Even in jnani, prarabdha is still there. As long as still his body is alive, there will be prarabdha. That's what he is trying to say.
But this prarabdha karma is not from your old janmas.
Yeah, it is also there. Disease can be your number of years is decided by your purva janma and all that, even when your body. So there may be a lot of this, what do you call, some papa pending to be exhausted in this birth. So you have to go through it by going through the disease.
That's what there is a prarabdha.
Those things can be there. He will not initiate. He will not initiate any, because there is no kartrutva. He will not initiate action where it can become the agami and sanchita will not be there. Agami is in the sense he will not initiate an action for which there will be a phalan later. Sanchita is what is in his account after his birth also. That both of them will vanish. Whereas in this life, whatever prarabdha is there, he will have to exhaust it.
Okay.
This is all technical. Honestly speaking, we don't have to get into it. Why? Because even though it is mentioned, we are not really bothered about whether karma is. We are not doing accounting. We are not interested in that. We are interested in understanding our own values. That is how we should. Even though it is all mentioned in the Shastra, we have to go through it. And if someone asks question, we must be able to explain. For that reason, you must know. That's it. Yeah.
He does not grieve, nor does he wish for anything. When something very beloved to him is gone, he does not grieve, na sochati. Recognizing that losses are a necessary part of creation, he does not suffer when things dear to him are taken away. In his vision, that is also a part of the whole scheme of things, losses occur every day. Somewhere somebody is always mourning. But we often do not recognize this unless we experience a great personal loss. The grief that follows such a loss also does not exist for the person being described here. He may have sympathy but not grief. It is important to understand that Gita is not saying do not have grief. If there is grief, it must be acknowledged and processed, or you will develop psychological problems. But for the person spoken of here, Gita says there is no grief. It is a fact. Na kankshati. He has a sense of enough. Alam pratyaya. The first thing that comes to a wise man when he is offered something is no. It is the nature of alam pratyaya. Therefore the Lord says he does not wish or long for na kankshati, anything that he does not have. He has given up both auspicious and inauspicious. Shubha Ashubha Parityagi is one who has completely gives up what is auspicious and inauspicious. He does not accumulate Subha Karma, Punya, much less Ashubha Karma, Papa. He will do a lot of Punya Karma, like teaching for example, but not to get Punya. Whether he teaches because of Parecha Prarabdha or Icha Prarabdha, the Shubha Ashubha Parityagi does not perform action for the sake of Punya. And nobody performs karma to get papa, but in the process of acquiring various things they want, people do some papa karma. The wise man, however, has no reason to do papa karma because he has nothing to gain. And there is no reason to get punya because punya is for sukha, and in his vision he is the sukha swarupa. All punyas have resolved in his jnana. Therefore, he is a Shubha Ashubha Parityagi. Yaha Bhaktiman. The one who has bhakti is beloved to me. Same Priyaha. He is the Atma, myself. Verse
18. Samaha satraucha mitrecha tata manopamanayoho itoshna sukha dukkeshu samasanga vivarjitaha. Samaha, the one who is the same. Satraucha mitrecha, with reference to an enemy and a friend. Tata, so too. Mana
apamana yoho. Mana and apamana, opposites. Mana apamana yoho.
Apamana yoho, with reference to honor and disgrace. Shita usna sukha dukkeshu, with reference to cold, heat, pleasure and pain. Samaha, the same. Sangha vivarjitaha, free from attachment. The one who is the same with reference to an enemy and a friend. So too, honor and disgrace, the same with reference to cold, heat, pleasure and pain, free from attachment. He is same towards a friend or an enemy. Samasatraucha mitrecha. He is the same with reference to an enemy and a friend. Someone who desires your well-being out of affection for you is a friend, mitra. Satru, an enemy, is one who wants to hurt you in some manner. The question here is, how can a jnani have a satru? Why should he first create an enemy and then be equable towards it? A jnani does not create enemies, but they arise nevertheless just by his being himself. Suppose all he does is sit under a tree, there will always be someone who is jealous because he is not capable of sitting under a tree. Whether a jnani has a big palace or is simply sitting under a tree, someone will be jealous. There are so many reasons for enmity. You need not do anything at all. Even the shape of your nose can be good enough. That is motiveless enmity. Something about you reminds him of someone who once harmed him, and that invokes your enmity. But how are you going to deal with those enemies? Bhagavan says, he is sama, the same. There is no change in the antakarana vritti, whether a friend or an enemy approaches. The enemy creates no disturbance and the friend does not make him more secure or happy. He is sama, the same to both. Similarly, he is the same when he receives mana, respect, or apamana, opposite. Whether he becomes an object of worship or is disrespected, you are ashamed. He is the same. Shame. He is the same. He is not swayed by the pairs of opposites. Shitosna Sukha Dukkeshu Samaha. In cold and hot, pleasant and unpleasant situations. He is the same unlike a samsari, for whom even the weather is a constant source of complaint. In summer we go on about how hot it is, and when winter comes, we complain about the cold. When it rains, we complain, and also when it's dry. Then if the weather is just perfect, we complain that we cannot get out. We have to work. The wise man, however, remains equal to all these opposites. It is not that he experiences them any differently. It is hot and cold for him too. But his mind is undisturbed with regard to them.
When we had COVID, we were complaining we cannot go out. When COVID is removed, now we are telling we are not able to work from home. When we are asked to work from home, we are telling why we are not able to go to office.
Yes, so we have an Indian. Swami always used to say, no, you don't have to do anything. For you to be sad, you have to only think. You think, you can become sad. So we have the ingenuity. Only human being has the ingenuity of thinking and becoming sad from situations. So that is what it is. Even, see, we can go for one more, I think I have told before also. The Sita Ushna, the sense, cold and heat is any opposite, no? Immediately the Shastra says, opposites mean mithya. The indication is opposite means mithya. It is only in your perception. Whereas pratiti matram eva, only temperature is there. 25 degrees, 25 degrees. It is cold for someone and hot for someone else. So, 25 degrees, 25 degrees only. Why can't you look at it as only 25 degrees? And do what is appropriate to make yourself comfortable rather than saying that unpleasant weather and all that. So, it is pratiti matram eva. What is beautiful word? Indro maya bihi pururupaha iyate pratiyate pratiti matram eva. Life is just, as I told you, no? This is just an image. You think that you are holding something in hand, there is a value for it, and all you attach all that you say, and you like it, you don't like it, all that. Whereas the whole life is nothing but pratiti matram eva, just what your all your senses stimuli bring in to your mind. The whole thing is done, the gadbad is done in the mind. So you only live internally and have name, fame, all that, namni, namani, keep on giving name, value and all that, and you live your life. Whereas, what is happening is like in a dream. It's all happening in the mind. There is not much of a difference between the dream and the waking. All this is happening inside. Like even you look at the dream, whatever happened, good or bad, ugly, what happened in the dream, once you get up from the dream, you forget it. Okay. The same way you must be able to look at your waking life. Prabodha samaye, Dakshinamurti Stotram. Once you are able to be awakened to the reality that life is nothing but pratiti matram eva, then there is no question of sukha dukkha, sita ushna, sukha dukkha. Even the name, that sukha dukkha, you name it. The situation does not tell you I am sukha. The music does not say I am sukhi. You like the music, so you say beautiful. Other fellow who doesn't know anything about the music, he won't be able to appreciate. He will go and sit because his father took him to the music hall, got the ticket. He will go sit there 1 hour and come back. Or he will be watching the mobile, sitting in the hall. So, it's all very, very, the mithya is beautiful. Mithya in the sense, mithya is not that transaction is not happening or things are not happening. Everything is happening. But mithya is the reality word. It's a reality word. So, the whole thing is, opposites means mithya. Means What you are perceiving is not the reality. Reality is only pratiti. Opposite, okay. Somebody says it's very cold. You are not going to say, no, you are not going to tell him Shastra immediately. No, it is only pratiti and all that. You just go with him, get by. Just okay, appreciate him, whatever you can do to improve, you do it. But in your own heart of hearts, be very clear. You don't have unnecessary value for all these things. You get distracted. That is why Shitoshna Sukha Dukkeshu Samapati. The Samatvam inside will give you the tranquility. So that you will be ready for something higher, the introspection and study and all that. That is what he is talking about. Yeah.
He
is free from any attachment. Sangha Vivarjitaha. The one who is free from any kind of attachment. There are many possible attachments. Even a sannyasi, though he has given up wife and children and so on, may still worry about them. One who is Sangha Vivarjita has no emotional dependence upon people or things. This extends even to his own body. He may not have other dependencies, but everything can get focused on the body, as it does for bodybuilders and the like. It is healthier to have some dependence on others than to have such an extreme dependence on the body. From there it extends outwards to wife, children, house, carpet, furniture, etc. The Jnani, however, is free from any type of dependence. Sangha Vivarjita. This is the concluding verse describing the person who has wisdom, which is knowledge of Atma.
Beautiful. We will stop here.
Yeah.
It's a lot of things to go through in the sense. Just enjoy these values and is being talked about. If we can make it as part of our life, that is the most blessing part of it. Here and now. You don't have to wait for another day. If it can happen, here and now, life is a blessing. That is how we have to look at it.
Many times, when we go on a holiday, we still think of company, our job, our boss. Has he done this? Has he done that?
In the next verse it comes. That is why in the next verse it comes. Hangover. Swamiji talks about hangover. When you are, why you are going on a holiday? Even every day, when you are in office, you think about home. When you are at home, you think about office. Neither way you are efficient. Because of the hangover. You must be able to drop whatever in the office and come home and do whatever here, and same way you should not care. That is why in those days, Swamiji used to say the Achamanam. Achamanam meaning everyone, all Vaidikas will have a gindi in hand. And they will, when they are in the inside, when they are talking to family people, and then they come out and they talk Shastra to their colleagues or Pandits and all that, before that they will do Achamanam. Achamanam is to give a clear break between the previous activity and the next activity. So the hangover is not there. You don't talk of what is the unpleasantness inside the house, you don't take it outside the house. So all these things are very important. Because again, in Tatparyam also is, you live in the presence. I have told before also, past is history, future is mystery. Presence is the only reality. So live in the presence always. And the truth is, presence is the only reality. Even Bhashakara or even Panini's Vartamane Lat, in the sense he says, presence is the only reality. Every other ling, lung and all that are derivatives of Lat. There is no past and future. Because you are thinking about past and future, in the language it is there, he has to give some verbal derivatives of Lat. Vartamane Lat, meaning presence is the only reality. And you can see, if you are able to live like that, presence, be alert to the presence. Presence is the only reality. Everything else, the future and past is basically because of my own mental frame of time and space. Time is not the sense you remember, as I was telling you in that movie also, the past screen you remember and connect it with this present screen and make a story. And you pay the director for it. You are making the story, honestly speaking. Because at any point in time, you are seeing only the present screen. So in life also we do stories out of our life. Keep on thinking about the past and worrying about the future. Keep connecting, so many connections we keep making. And they make a life. There is something called big called life. There's nothing, there's only presence. So all this, once we have a certain value and certain composure, these things make a lot of sense. Then you will be able to earn it up. But if you are always, totally engrossed in your own, view of life and this is what is I want to be, that I want to be, like that. Pandal, Swamiji used to say. Tallis, pandal nu solluva illaya, and pandal naka adu or structure, super structure. Pandal adu one elutha ella undrum. Pandal da English la I don't know where it is called. Pandal it is called. What they also got tellis, Tellis, tellis. There is nothing like a rostrum. Oru kamba elutha ella undrum. That is how our life is. We keep on building blocks, building castles in the air. So, instead of doing all that, just live in the present. Okay? Especially once you are reach a certain stage in life, with Chitta Samadhanam you have achieved, you have found that you had your plus minus and all in life, but still you have come this far, right? You have come this far, you have taken care of your family, you have friends, wealth, finances and all that. So, life has been kind to us. So, at least from now on, we have to be living in the present, instead of looking at past, future and all that. That sort of an equanimity that will come next year, you will tell about that. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om